This brand new complete nutrition product claims to not only be good for the body as a superfood, but also good for the mind because they have added nootropics. So, what's in it? What's it all about? And what's it taste like? As ever, let's find out. Vybey is new on the market, offering a complete meal with complete nutrition. So they sent me these two flavours to try and test. But this has something that most of the other products I regularly review don't, and that's the addition of nootropics. So, healthy body, healthy mind. And that has me intrigued, but more on that later. As with most complete nutrition products, this contains 26 vitamins and minerals. It's high in protein, coming in at a good dosage of 29 grams a meal, and that's either plant-based or dairy protein, depending on which version you opt for. In addition, there's complex slow-releasing carbs that are going to sustain you, so you avoid that kind of energy spike and then a slump. There's healthy fats like omegas 3 and 6, and it's also high in fibre. And of course, low in sugars that are only 100% naturally occurring from the existing ingredients in the products. And it includes probiotics for a healthy gut. Each meal that you make up, if you're using a sort of 100 grams of it, these packets here are 100 grams. Each meal is 400 calories overall. But what of the nootropics, I hear you ask? Well, first of all, what are nootropics? Well, nootropics, if you look it up, are basically drugs, supplements, other substances that are claimed to help improve cognitive function. You know, like you might have heard the idea of smart drugs that people sort of take, before an exam and that kind of thing. So they're claimed to help improve cognitive function, particularly executive functions in the brain, attentive memory, creativity, motivation in healthy individuals, all of that. Arguably, caffeine is a nootropic if you really want to think about it like that. But chiefly the claim is that they are a health supplement for the brain. So it's like sort of vitamins for the brain, if that makes sense. They're not vitamins, but sort of a health supplement to help the brain. In this case, Vybey contains lion's mane mushroom. And Vybey themselves sell lion's mane mushroom powder and capsules separately on their site, so you can add it to meals and drinks or whatever like that. Now, Vybey say that lion's mane mushroom is a medicinal mushroom that has been used for thousands of years in both culinary and medical uses across Asian countries. As it's made its way to the West, some of the research benefits include, and these are the claims that certain research says, enhances your brain function, improve your quality of sleep, support your immune system, increase your concentration and focus, relieve stress, and things like that. You can check out on their site for all the sort of brain benefits and science behind it, but also do your own research on the clinical evidence that exists. But consider this, the fact that for thousands of years it's been part of East Asian medicine must be doing something right. So it will be quite interesting whether I notice any effect from the lion's mane mushroom powder in here. I think in order to help understand about the drink, it's useful to understand the journey of Vybey. According to their site, originally it came from the creator making complex smoothies with protein powder, etc. for his friends. There's a whole area of people making their own bespoke healthy drinks, starting with sort of a protein powder supplement. And I've tried other complete nutrition products that started in this very way. But it's worth noting that this is a slightly different approach from those that have started off with the intention of creating a meal replacement or a complete nutrition product from the get-go. The protein shake element seems to be the basic starting point of the Vybey drinks. In addition, Vybey, am I saying Vybey right, or is it Vybey? Vybey. Anyway, in addition, Vybey also claim that not only can it be used for breakfast, lunch, or your evening meal, depending on your busy schedule, it can also be used as a complete meal replacement. Now, not all complete nutrition products position themselves as complete meal replacement products. So it's interesting that they put themselves in that kind of place. So as I mentioned, they come in two flavors. There's the milk protein and whey protein based version here, and the more vegan friendly plant-based protein version here. Now, the milk-based one is a smooth vanilla, like a vanilla milkshake, supposedly, and the plant-based one is chocolate and salted caramel. So, without further ado, let's get on with the tasting. So I'm kicking off here with the vanilla version. So this is the one that has whey protein and milk powder. So it's not vegan. This is the non-vegan one. The other one is the plant-based one. But we're going to see what this one's like. I've made it up in my NutriBullet as ever, so giving it a good old mix. Now, the interesting thing about here is for 100 grams, 100 grams in this particular packet here, they recommend having 500 to 700 mils of water. So you're getting quite a lot. So it should fill you up just in terms of sheer content, but we'll see how that is. Not all products tend to go for about 500 plus mils. So this is the one with sort of one of the bigger ones, as it were. But I think that, as I say, is to fill you out a bit. It's standard vanilla, smooth vanilla. So very similar to a lot of other products. Yeah, smells like vanilla. So there you go. I'm not expecting any surprises or anything like that. Yeah, because I've mixed it up, it's quite sort of foamy, creamy texture because of the milk powder. I always find that milk powder kind of has a slightly more, I was going to say milky taste, but that's obvious, sort of slightly more creamy taste than when you go for the plant-based version. So it'll be interesting to see the texture of the plant-based version compared to this one. But yeah, it's a vanilla shake. That's what it is. Not too sweet, which is nice. I'm not getting any aftertaste. So sort of not, sometimes you get a sort of a sweetener aftertaste with some products. I'm not getting that. So I'd say a fairly smooth, standard vanilla texture and taste. Nothing wrong in that. No aftertaste or anything sort of slightly more sort of offensive later on. So very palatable, very good. We'll see whether, as I say, given the quantity, I've used 500 mils here, whether it fills me up, how long that satiates me for, and also whether the nootropics have any effect, especially in the afternoon, which is a period of time I tend to sort of dip in concentration. There you go. This is the smooth vanilla version of Vybey. Vybey. Vybey, Vybey. There you go. Anyway, next we'll try the plant-based version. So next up we've got the plant-based flavour here, and it's chocolate and salted caramel flavour. So chocolate and salted caramel flavour. This one's plant-based, so its protein is derived from pea protein and brown rice protein, and it's got cocoa powder and flaxseed, coconut flour, and all that. I'll put a list of the ingredients up elsewhere in the video, but there we go. So this is the plant-based one. If you're not one for getting your protein from milk or whey protein, maybe if you're vegan or whatever, then the plant-based one is vegan friendly. It says on the back, vegan friendly. I'm not sure you can see that there. So I do like salted caramel things, so this would be interesting. Chocolate and salted caramel things. Yeah, certainly getting that kind of caramelly, chocolate caramelly smell. So let's see whether it's as smooth as the milk-based and whey protein-based version. That's nice. It's quite, I wouldn't say earthy. It's the chocolate's not the cocoa, so the cocoa is definitely not overpowering. It doesn't feel, for someone, I'm not a massive fan of the chocolate drinks, but there's something a bit earthy in this one. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely chocolatey, a bit like a chocolate cookie, as opposed to a chocolate bar, if that makes sense. Maybe it's the sort of oat flour element to it. It's not as smooth, which as the other one, the one that's based around the sort of milk and whey protein, not quite as smooth and silky as that one. This was a bit more kind of bitty to it, but I quite like that texture. A bit like another product I had. It was sort of, the flavour worked well with it because it's sort of a bit like melted cookies. Not melted, sort of crumbled and liquidized cookies. Yeah, the taste isn't as strong as I thought. I thought the chocolate and salted caramel would be more dominant. There's definitely an earthy, maybe it's the lion's mane, I don't know. There's something sort of a plant-based element to it in the fragrance, but very drinkable, because sometimes there's these chocolate and salted caramel ones that they can all be a bit overbearing sometimes. This one, I wouldn't say it's subtle, but it's not an overbearing flavour and texture. So very easy to drink if you're not a big fan of the sort of the chocolate drink. I wouldn't describe it as a chocolatey drink. Again, I said I made this up in the NutriBullet, so it should have mixed it up quite well. Yeah, definitely it's not quite as smooth as the milk protein based one, but really nice. I'm liking, I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it's because it doesn't feel, oddly enough, it doesn't feel artificial. I think that's what it is. The chocolate and salted caramel flavors don't feel artificial. Oddly, I like that. I don't quite put my finger on why I like it, but I do. But there's definitely an earthy plant based element in there somewhere. Whether it's the lion's mane, I don't know. Whether it's some of the kind of more plant-based ingredients, but it's definitely there. So it just doesn't feel like full-on chocolate and salted caramel sweetness in your face. But very nice, very drinkable. Yeah. Again, we'll see whether the kind of, the Nootropics has any effect of me over the afternoon and stuff like that, and see whether it fills me up. Again, I use 500 mils of water for this one. It recommends between 500 to 700. So there you go. But yeah, not too bad. Definitely not an overpowering kind of chocolatey flavor to it. Quite subtle. Not as subtle as some products I have, but yeah, an interesting one, that one. So there you go. Chocolate and salted caramel flavor. So having tried it over the last few days, I have to admit it did keep me satiated for the afternoon. And that may be because of the fact that you're sort of filling your stomach with 500 mils plus of water in the powder. And then the slow release carbs sort of kept me going through the day as well. So that definitely, is a top mark for them. That worked really well. Filled me up, kept me going in the afternoon. Now, in terms of the Nootropic lion's mane, did I feel any more attentive? Well, that's always hard to tell, as there's always a sort of placebo effect going on as I'm sort of, trying to pay attention to my alertness because I know I've drunk it and that's what I'm looking out for. So the very fact that I'm alert to my alertness is pretty hard to judge. What I do know is that there was certainly no afternoon slump in my concentration. But then again, I'd have to see the effect over a longer period of time of taking it to sort of really be able to tell you whether it has a kind of a cognitive effect. But taste-wise, overall, it didn't blow me away. The vanilla smooth is just like, to be honest, like a lot of other vanilla smooth complete nutrition products. I didn't expect anything less, to be honest. Although it is obviously quite smooth because it's milk-based protein there, but not as smooth as the other milk-based complete nutrition product I try. But ultimately, it's pleasant enough. And hey, that's all you really want in a complete meal or complete nutrition product. Now, the chocolate and salted caramel one, now that was odd, but not in an unpleasant way. It just had a bit of an earthy flavour for something that's meant to be sweet like chocolate and salted caramel. If anything, I'd say there was a lack of, definitely a lack of artificial sweetness, which for me is a good thing. And actually, the more I think about it, the more I enjoyed it because it wasn't as sweet as I was expecting, because there was no sort of real strong artificial sort of sweet flavour to it. I think they've done really well on that basis. But it is interesting anyway. Price wise, Vybey do a starter pack with a 3 times 100 grams vanilla and then the 3 times 100 grams of the choco caramel. And with that, you get a shaker and of course a scoop. Now this is a great place to start to at least try them out and maybe sort of see if they're for you. And that comes in at £24.99 for that whole kind of package. If you decide you want to go ahead and start having this on a regular basis, then the big bags of 1.5 kilograms of stuff, which is 15 400 calorie meals, they say it's got 30 meals in it, but that would be 200 calorie meals. That's more a snack. So let's be clear here. It's more like 15 meals at 400 calories. That feels more like a meal. And that's £34.99, which is £2.33 per 400 calorie meal. So I'd say that's at the upper end of things compared to other shakes and complete nutrition products that I've tried in the powder form anyway. But there is a 10% discount on that if you subscribe and get regular deliveries of it. And obviously the more of the larger bags you order, then that overall price comes down. Well, there you go. Vybey or Vibey, Vybey. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it useful. If you did, then please hit the likes because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find awesome content like this. And if you are new here, hey, do me the great honor, hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and that way you're going to know when I go live with amazing content like this. And if you're interested in other complete nutrition products, why don't you check out the videos here, which hopefully just popped up here, unless you're watching on a TV or something like that and they're not there, but click them anyway, you know, if you can see them. They're interesting stuff. And subscribe.